Hey everybody, welcome to Immortals Inc. podcast, and today I want to take a moment to speak to all my Grognard brothers and sisters. Ready? Anyway, that was just for fun, Mike. Today we're going to talk about, you know what? This is a subject I really didn't want to breach or talk about, but we're going to have to.
Breaching
Because
breaching confidentiality.
it's not confidentiality. It's just like at one point or another you have to say something. So you know what a grognard is referring to gamers.
Well, you said it to me earlier, and I was like, maybe he's just on one of his tangents again. Maybe he's got something going on that I don't know.
One of my old man tangents.
Something that I don't know what's going on, just internal issues. But yeah, you explained to me it's what, old school role players?
Yeah, it's a term they used to use for guys that use old systems or stuff like that. Like the original word, I've researched this a little bit, is a French, I believe, and it's used during the Napoleonic Wars.
Oh yeah, not Neapolitan. That wouldn't be it.
Napoleon
era.
Yeah, Napoleon era wars. It's a group of veteran soldiers that would be able to let the commanders know if this is a bad idea. Like, you know, they're grumpy enough. They're veterans and they fought this and they're reliable. You know, but they're grumpy enough, or they would be considered grumpy enough to say, "Oh, you're not using us right," or like to let the people above them know. Like, you can equate that to even like like where I work. I'm the old guy where I work. And it's like when I don't like something, I say, hey, this might not be a good idea. And, take it or leave it, but I'll say something. That refers to like old school game, OSR gaming. It's like the guys who played way back when. They play first edition or they play second edition or they do all this. And they've come into light recently based on... and this all stems from the 50th anniversary book. There was a preface. Yeah, there was a
bunch
preface.
Of the grogs are coming out.
Yeah, because in the preface, apparently in the making of the 50th anniversary book, Jason Tondro, I believe his name is, put a preface or an editorial at the front. He basically, gave a synopsis, but then he kind of went a little extra on Gary Gygax. If you read it, you can find it online. It's all over the place. You can read it. And then Elon Musk got involved, and he responded to Elon Musk, and Musk said, he did the classic, "How much is it?" But in his response, he says, "Well, I didn't know." Basically, if you can read it, I'm sure we'll have links or something like that, but it's easy to search. It's everywhere. He said, "I didn't know the grognards were going to get all mad." And he said it didn't really matter their opinion. If I guess you would consider me a grognard, but a guy, I don't know. Like, they say it's an old, in the reference in the when they say that about old gamers, it's like they refuse to change their ways, or this is the game they play and they won't play anything new and they complain about everything else, which, yeah, that's probably about right? Like, yeah. How many people do you come in here, the old gamers, like, this game stinks or whatever, and they end up buying and playing it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't underestimate like Gary Gygax and the Grognards. Those are the guys. Those are your base. That's where the game came from.
Pioneers.
Yeah, they created something that you're standing on top of, and you might not think they matter, but like I've been playing. I'm going to give you the copy of the game, the box set. That's the box set I remember playing. It was from the 80s. I had to be 12, maybe 11 or 12 when I started playing it. 80. 81, 82.
What is it called?
It's just Dungeons and Dragons, the red box, or not the red box, but the basic set.
You got it over there, right?
Yeah, I got it here, but I couldn't pull it out without moving the whole table and everything like that. You'll put a picture of it for me, please. But believe it or not, my foray into fantasy, and this is how young it is, as I can remember. And I'm going to tell this story because this is how you build, like where old players come from, and how they get created and make new players. Like, you shouldn't fluff off anything old. Like you would even be considered like craftsmen. The woodworker nowadays, if you're a woodworker, you wouldn't like fluff off the old craftsman. You wouldn't tell him he's not needed because he's got all the skill and the value and he can teach you something. You should always listen to anybody, that has a skill that you want to improve upon, and you shouldn't definitely not rag on them. So, But like I can remember the first foray into fantasy, Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Mm-hmm.
you know who that is? Yeah, he did the original Conan movie. Well, not the original one, but way back in the 80s, like in 70s or whatever, early 70s. I remember I was young. This is one of the memories I have of my father. So we go in and my father was a huge sci-fi fantasy guy, and I probably didn't know it, but he was, And I can remember this being like 9, and this is probably, like 9 or 10, like late 70s, early 80s. And we remember going to this movie. Oh, we're going to see Conan. Okay. And I can remember this like crazy. Like I remember the movie because it was great, but we walked up and the guy at the counter, my dad's like, two tickets, please. And the guy goes, sir, this is a rated R movie. And he's like, I said 2 tickets. So then there might have been like a little argument about me going in with this, my dad. And so we got the 2 tickets. I saw the movies. I'm like, wow, this is great. This is like Conan, a fantasy. I'm a little kid. This is great. Yeah, there was some nudity in it, but, it's tame nudity nowadays standards, right? And the violence is even tame. Maybe not. It's kind of crazy back then.
Yeah.
But it's, fantasy and, and everything like that. But what I remember is the high fantasy adventure and everything. I'm like, wow, that's cool. I really like that. I want to read stuff like this. But, I'm 9 or 10. And by 11 or 12, at church, there were some of the older kids playing, and they were playing a game with that box set, Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like, oh, what's that? And they were like, yeah, come on in. And this is at church, like we were, like summer church or whatever,
Satanic panic.
No, we didn't have that.
How ironic.
Yeah, it's funny because it was church, but we weren't, we were Protestant, so it wasn't like, whatever. But so we went in, and that's where I learned to play D&D was at church. That's when we played we'd go to church, do whatever, and play Sunday, and then nobody said anything, and it was fun. And then you learn from there, and then I just never stopped playing. I played through the high school years. I kept, even when I was, I used to donate plasma in between high school and the military, so I can get some money to buy games. And then in the military I played, we used to take a bus out to the middle of nowhere to go get a game or something like that because we're in Texas, and Texas is big. And I came back, and even then I still donated plasma because it's in between the military and finding my real job. That took some time. But I always made sure I played the games and met people. Some of my best gamers I met were just randomly, we had nothing and we played the game and we built from it, and we liked building that. And even my job, even losing, even like going through a divorce or going through broken relationships or whatever it is, going through my life, having to move, it was always like, clothes and a box of games, that I kept, so it's like, it was important to me. So then as I grew older and more stable, I'm like, hey, you know what? I want to build a store because it's collectible. At this point I'm getting to be better and better. And I'm like, the reason I built a store is not because I want to make money, because obviously this isn't like a hands over fist money. You can, if you try, but it's not there, and it's aggravating, and it takes up a lot of my time, and I could be doing nothing instead of this. But I did it because I want to bring this to new gamers, to the people that wanted to play. I wanted to get new people into the hobby. I wanted to see the joy and happiness that it brings them, because of that, and you have to learn. I can't just sit here and go, oh, you should all play second edition. Nobody's going to buy it. So you have to learn with it and be like, hey, okay, I can say I liked second edition better. I liked it. It was fun because it was fun for me. These kids, the 5th edition is going to be fun for them. The 5.5 is going to be fun for them. The next edition is going to be fun for them. Whatever it might be, the kids are going to like it, and they're going to grow up, and eventually down the line, they're going to be the old people.
They're going to be the grogs.
Yeah, they're going to be the grognards, and it's like, but
I thought grog meant beer. Like,
it does.
Like, isn't that what
it's
it
a
means?
different way. Yeah, I could be.
So maybe that was why it came from that.
It's a French word. It might
like
mean
from that French era of.
I think grog is like an English.
That's something to do.
I don't know. I'm not a linguist.
Somebody let us know in the comments.
But it's funny because if I wasn't the old gamer who was able to build this, you wouldn't have a spot for the new gamers. Now somebody's going to immediately say, well, I'll just go to another store. They're also going to be the old gamers. There might be some, like, even there was a recent store that man, what was his name? The old guy, man, super old guy, just retired. Sold it to a younger guy, obviously, because this guy was old. Anyway, there was a store owner, Wally. Wally was an older gentleman, and he had a store forever. and he built it, and he built this huge community. And then when he was ready to move on, he sold it to somebody younger who's still not young. It's not like it's some young kid or something like that. But now he's going to be the old guy, so that's your Grognard for this edition,
Yeah, the passing of the Grognard torch.
Yeah. So you have to listen to it. So you shouldn't, in my opinion, disrespect anybody. You could not agree with the way they see things. They could say, hey, this is that. And, I didn't like the way he did this. I didn't like the way he did that. But he still did it. It's here. I'm going to enjoy what he did. That's here. Don't disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful, I guess, is what I'm saying. You can be, and you think you're being good. Like, I could say a lot of bad things about anybody who's taught me, but why? If I valued what they taught me, then okay, they have flaws. Everybody does.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean like, well, then you have to be nice to this guy who's terrible. No, I don't. Because if I'm not getting anything from that person and he's just terrible, then yeah. But don't stand on somebody else's achievements and then belittle them.
Yeah.
Respect the pioneers. Too much? It might be. That's just my opinion.
No, you got to respect the pioneers.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's perfect. So, and I think that's part of it. And then even your version of perfect might not be perfect. Like
9 times out of 10 is not.
Yeah. What you want to do down the line, like it might not work out for you, and you might have to change your attitude. That's the like I always say, the youth is wasted on the young, So I be a Grognard, I guess.
Yeah, embrace the Grognardism.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you should bow down and kiss their ass. Some of them are a pain in the butt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I
some
can
of
be a
them
pain.
are not open-minded at all.
No, it's hard to be open-minded.
And you can't even get out of here.
I mean, how many times do I sit there when somebody's telling us something, like, oh, you got to do this or this, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I have to like sit back and let me digest this for a minute.
Going to my office.
Yeah, I'm going to my office. Close my door. But yeah, I still have to be like, I like certain editions of stuff. I don't want change, like nobody likes change, but sometimes you have to accept it or look at it and say, okay, that's not for me, but somebody else will like it. Like how many changes have already occurred with Magic and D&D and everything like that. And,
and there's people that love it and there's people that hate it.
Yeah.
There's always going to be people that love it and hate it.
I know. And in the end, what sells, what's more popular, what pays the bills, is this edition going to be good? Yes. Are these minor things going to destroy it? Maybe not, you never know. Or that'll just be part of its history, like I can't even cite an example, like Satanic Panic, that might've, that might've killed the game, but it didn't, it got through it and everything else. There's been so many ups and downs with this game in the company and who owned it, sold it, but everything, but you still have to take from that, what you've learned previously, learn from your mistakes, I guess. So, but I guess my point is don't be disrespectful. Don't stand on top of something, or don't make money at something somebody else built and then disrespect them. My opinion, of course, my opinion.
His opinion.
So, but if you like this or you want more commentary like this, I hate getting, I don't want to take a hard liner on side. I know my personal feelings about stuff. But, you see me, ask me. We'll have a discussion about it.
In the comments, of course.
Yeah. But that's just my personal...
You've wrote essays before.
Huh?
You wrote essays in the comments already.
Oh, yeah. We've had. I like actually interacting with people. Like, it's fun when you get the complimentary ones, and it's like I enjoy talking to those people. You meet new friends or you just see things. But the ones that go after you, those are more fun because, they swing hard and fast, and it's usually easy to dodge and counter, and it's just, you have to think.
1,000-word response.
Yeah. First point. Yeah. But it's fun. But yeah, I like the interaction. It's cool. Like I said, in my opinion, how I feel, and you're welcome to come here and play any version you want. I'm fine with it.
How you feel is how you feel.
Yeah. Just don't, there's not even a don't. Don't disrespect people.
Don't.
Yeah. Just don't disrespect people.
There was a quote I came up with in school when we had an art project. I was like, come up with an inspirational quote. Mine was don't.
This wasn't like last year or something, right?
No.
Okay.
But it's genius. If we know multiplication, multiply two negatives, positive comes out of it.
Oh, it does. That's real math. See, that's past my abilities. If you like what you saw, you like what you heard, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Man,
Yes.
I cannot say
You can even
that.
join us too.
Yeah, join would be nice.
I mean, it's just beneficial for you guys. Put everything back into this room. All that comes back to us. We're trying to, upgrade it and make it seem more presentable as time goes on.
Yeah, we're still learning what people like and trying to get some behind-the-scene footage. We got Mike working hard over here all the time.
And if you ever wanted to be in our podcast, we have an email that you could contact us through. You could reach out, inquire, figure out a way.
mortalsinkstore@gmail.com.
Yeah, mortalsinkstore@gmail.com. Whatever email is connected to our YouTube, or you could find us somehow.
Or just go to mortalsinc.com and contact us.
Yes, that works
social
too.
Media. We're always looking for somebody to talk to and something to talk about.
Later.